Hello, I am Malika Al-Haj Hassan, reporting for the Organic Chemistry Club YouTube channel. Today, February 5th, 2018, Dr. Hussein Tawbi gave a mentoring talk titled Navigating Academic Life. Plan ahead and let your work speak for itself. I will be conducting an interview with him and several members from the audience. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Tawbi. I wanted to ask, what does it mean for you to be back here in AUB and give a mentoring talk to fellow students like yourself so long ago?
Yeah, actually, it's such an honor to be here. Every time I visit Lebanon, it's a necessary place for me to visit because it was my formative years. This is where I, essentially grew up. And so being able to be around AUB is just very, kind of heartwarming to me always, just as a visitor walking through the hallways and seeing everything that's happening. But to be able to interact with the students and to tell them of my experience and the challenges that I faced was actually in itself, very inspiring to me because I could see some of the same concerns that they have, the same insecurities that they're dealing with, and to be able to show them that, there's a lot that can be done even when you're feeling that you're very stressed at the time and there's a lot that's coming at you, that by keeping your focus, setting your goals, and actually working towards them, that you can really achieve a lot.
So during your days here at UB and even beyond, are there some key mentors that helped you pave the way to where you are now?
Absolutely. I think mentors are almost every step of my career was done with the help of a very important mentor. So from chemistry was a chemistry professor, Dr. Sleiman, and in internal medicine and an internship it was Dr. Araisi. And every step of the way I managed to make a mentoring connection with someone that I admired, that I respected, that I looked up to, and they were very open about career paths and tell me what's right and what's wrong. At the end, you make your own choices, but seeing people that you respect giving you advice is actually almost an important and a necessary step to be able to move forward. So I would recommend for the students to think about, again, who are the best professors, the people that really they look up to, they get inspired by, and reach out to them and ask for advice, because I'm sure their professors would be very interested in helping them through.
That's definitely very valuable. I wanted to ask, have you given any of these mentoring talks before to other students?
No, I guess I haven't gotten a Nobel Prize yet. And so the Dr. Kafanani gave me this opportunity, and I think it's a fantastic activity that you guys do. And I really like the fact that it's not about, how far you've gotten, but really how much it took you to get there. And I think being able to share that with students and being a little more close to their experience, having been through almost exactly the same things myself, I hope was helpful to them as well.
So in your talk, you spoke a lot about passion. What makes you passionate about mentoring students?
So interestingly enough, as you study medicine, I think it's, I told you it's a bit of an art, and you realize that along the way you get taught by people that show you how to do things and how to think about medicine, and it becomes ingrained in you to try to pass it along to as many people as you can. And I actually have to say that the environment at AUB was very much that. So we were mentors to each other almost. We taught each other what we knew, and we were helping each other out throughout the way. And I think that's actually what really makes it, almost ingrained in me to try to teach as much as I could. At the University of Pittsburgh, I was actually involved in the fellowship a lot, and I used to run their journal club, which was really fun, going through articles and kind of teaching all the fellows how to think about statistics and understanding what they're reading and what they're going through. Some of those things you can never learn from just reading a book or watching, a YouTube video nowadays. I guess I never did that in my days. But being able to speak to an individual that can interact with you and help you think through it is very important.
All right, so what do you think about the reaction that today's audience had to your talk?
I was very pleased that people showed up in the first place and that they stayed around, and they had a lot of very interesting questions. So I hope that it helped them, if not address the questions that they're dealing with right now, hopefully that it stays with them to answer questions that they will have to face in the future.
All right, so touching on that, do you have any last pieces of advice for fellow undergraduate students like myself?
Well, I guess plan ahead and, work hard, because I think working hard is important, but really planning and thinking about what your goal is, what really drives you, what is that big stone you want to get to, doing all the things you love to do is very important. And every time you have the opportunity to think about what is it that drives you, take it, because it's very easy to get into the grind of every day and the next quiz and the next homework, and not to really take a step back and think, why am I doing what I'm doing? What am I trying to achieve? And that ends up being very helpful, kind of tracing your path and walking through it.
All right, thank you so much for your insight today. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask you, what do you think was an important lesson that you learned here today?
I think the most important thing is to keep innovating, because I've always aspired to not just become a medical doctor, but as an innovator. I've always been inspired by Elon Musk and other innovators. So I really I was really inspired by him, and I really want to keep innovating till I drop from him.
Was there anything that surprised you about his story?
Absolutely. The fact that I found so many similar things between me and him is that he kept facing tough decisions choosing between a PhD and doing his MD and so many things. So I was really inspired by that and made me feel like I want to continue.
So would you say that his story helped you navigate the journey ahead?
Absolutely. It paved the road for me, made everything much more clear, and now I know what I want to pursue. I know that after I do my pre-med psychology, I can do absolutely anything, and I feel so much happier doing this.
I'm really glad to hear that that's what you got. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, so was there an important lesson that you learned today or anything that surprised you about the talk that he gave?
Oh, there were plenty of important lessons that we all learned today. It wasn't just me. First of all, I learned that knowledge is very important. The doctor was very interested in knowing things and learning, and another thing I learned is that what you love and what you're fixated on might not be the right path for you. Like, he had his mind open, and he had different ideas, and he was open to other opportunities and not just what he liked to do.
Yes, being open-minded is certainly a very valuable aspect of this overall journey. Speaking of seeing his journey and the kind of decisions that he had to make, do you have a better understanding of the possible paths you might take to reach your overall goal?
Yes, I do. I repeat, he opened the door he showed me that you should take other opportunities. You should not only be stubborn and just go for what you like. You should also look at other options, see what the benefits of going into another path, list the pros and cons, and make sure that what you're doing and where you're going is the right place that you should be.
All right, thank you so much. Hi, thank you for attending today's lecture. I wanted to ask you, was there anything that you found particularly interesting or maybe even surprising about the information he shared today?
Well, first of all, he was definitely very passionate, and that was very attractive to me as an audience, to keep on listening, and I wasn't even distracted for a minute. What was particular was that he said that he liked physics, and then he transferred to chemistry, and then he decided to go into med school. So it was, I really, it really reminded me of myself, because I've been through a similar situation. So it's nice to see successful people like him, where they actually, went through a situation that was similar to us students. It was very interesting to me to hear that.
So seeing his journey and everything he's had to, the tough choices he's had to make to get to where he is, do you feel like you have maybe a better understanding of the journey that awaits you to get to your goal?
Definitely. I mean, he really focused on planning, and to me, I do plan, but not that meticulously. And we saw in the talk, throughout his journey, he planned everything meticulously. So I definitely take that more into consideration. It would definitely let me achieve my goals, in an easier manner.
All right, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.